Is Daf Yom Yerushalmi Terumos Shmuel in the article Oz V'Hara edition with Daf Ayin Hey Amud Aleph. 5 lines down. Bar Yudni Yiglei Kunditon, and that in the Vilna is on Daf Mem Beis Amud Aleph. In the middle towards the bottom. No, actually, it's over the bottom. 3 lines to the bottom. By Yudnei. Okay, and I learned to be close for Yoshua Eretz Yisrael and Am Yisrael, and especially the people who are held in captivity in Gaza by our enemies, Yimach Shalom Zichron. By Yudnei, that's obviously a person's name, Iglei Kunditon, the day his Kunditon wine became uncovered. He came to ask the rabbis. They say also. It's also to drink. We say that the wine which is sharp or bitter, sweet, doesn't have gilui, and kunditon is considered to be chad. It has to be that you have a portion of 1 measure of samamonim, of the additional herbs and spices, to 3 measures of wine. And evidently, this wine by Yudni was not didn't have that many herbs and spices mixed in, so it still had a problem of megula. That's a vote. Yain's bashis is galamau. Okay, Yain Mavusha, which was uncovered, was a story. I'm going to say said Krina Tzricha Rabbi Yochanan said the wine called Krina, which is the Gemara says a sweet wine which comes from Asia was a question to Rabbi Yochanan if it's sweet enough to include that which Shimon Levi said the sweet wine doesn't have the status issue of mavushal, and you're coming and ask me this on the Yain Mavushal. It certainly could still be problematic. Low koshke Yain Mavushal, Yain Mavushal should certainly could still be an issue. All of a sudden, Rabbi Yitzchak, Rabbi Avo, I guess himself went and asked Rabbi Yitzchak. I'm like, also, he said, also. In Rabbi Avo became illuminated, and he remembered. The Rabbi Yochanan also. Rabbi Yochanan said, also, Yain Mavushal, which is uncovered, is also. Rabbi Yaakov Rachel, Rabbi Yam said, if a person is coming in and going out, it's okay. In other words, the snake is afraid the person's going to come back. He doesn't take the chance of going to get to the wine. Barnat Tuza, and that's not just by Yain Mavushal anyway. It doesn't matter. Barnat Tuza is Gali say. Barnat Tuza had barrel wine come covered. Overshar Biapa Baramo. I came as a memo. I said, it's mutter. You're going out and coming back in, it's mutter. And Rabbi Yam said, if you're there, it's okay, even if you're sleeping, because the snake doesn't come in presence of a sleeping person. One said if it's sleeping, it's okay. And the other one, if it says sleeping, it's not okay. We don't know who said which. It makes sense to say Chanina is the one who said that when you were sleeping it was okay. Because Rabbi Lezer samich Rabbi Chanina, because in all places Rabbi Lezer sustains Rabbi Chanina, and we said before Rabbi Lezer, I guess they go in the same shita. And before we said name Rabbi Lezer, that Yoshin is mutter, so therefore, so Chanina is the one who said that if you were sleeping, it's nevertheless permitted. Yossi Mishtoy, I hate Uvda. Yossi told the following story. Sagi. There was a certain woman who she liked the mitzvah of tzedakah very much. This is very similar to the case in the Bavli, only in Bavli it doesn't say that she loved giving tzedakah. It says mitzavta. The Pnei Moshe says it should be read mitzvasa. mitzvos. I thought mitzvah means companionship. Maybe it means tzedakah because you are given such a companion. But he's the Maraf also has mitzvos. It was about the Rosh Hashanah. No, I'm not. I think it's also the same thing. Yeah, the article actually spells it out. Mitzvah. Okay, so she liked mitzvahs very much. Balasani mitzvahs. Her husband hated mitzvahs. I guess the mitzvah specifically. One time, some poor person came in to be enjoy the tzedakah of the balas habayis. Yavas kumei mecha. She gave him to eat. Min achal, while she was eating, argish's bala isli. She sensed her husband coming into the house. You have to go, Lisa. So she put the poor person into the upper room, into the attic, so the husband shouldn't find the poor person and get angry. Yavis kuma balav diechov achal. So then she gave the food, put food in front of her husband, and it's for him to eat, and he did eat. And he fell asleep. And he fell very much asleep. And so as soon as his blows off, he fell asleep. So a snake came and ate from the food which was in front of the husband. And the poor person was looking up at him from the upper floor. And the Bavli is looking at it from inside the closet, if I recall correctly. Midi itar, the other room. Once he woke up, the Balabas went to eat from that which is in front of it. So the person who was in the upper floor started to talk to him and warn him, don't eat. And the Bavli is a whole discussion, right? It's the Yichud, which is Chashuda. That's in the Gemara's we're coming up here with that in a moment. But in the meantime, the Gemara's issue is Adamra Yashin also. So it seems that you're sleeping and the snake comes anyway. Kachamad Yama Yashin Mutter. It's a difficult in the opinion which says that if you sleep, that it's mutter. That this line is not in the Vilna. The Vilna says, "Asa b'acham mimadav v'kamei v'amistag b'min ita kam by mecham mimadav v'kamei shel lisa melule behadam ra yashin mutter." Doesn't seem that way, right? So that's the it says why the Kavraki has a different girsa. The kasha l'madam ra yashin mutter, right? So Gemara says bare hava. It was a wild snake, which is not to know that a person who's asleep can wake up anytime, okay, which is a fascinating distinction. That's Kavanaki's interpretation. So it's from the that's from the Rasirili. The Pnei Moshe says the exact opposite, but he changed the girsa. He says that I know what interpretations here. But Pnei Moshe says Borava, the Zargar is Korichava. Vainuhach, Klamer Anocha says Yerushalmi Terumos. It was accustomed to be there in the house. So if it wasn't afraid of people sleeping, he knew that people slept, and he understood that if he was sleeping, he's sleeping, especially if Damach is very much sleep, so therefore it wasn't really a chance in his eyes, he was willing to do it. The Maraf Fulda says that that had definite simon, that the snake didn't want to eat from it. Some say he brings up another figure is Korush Hava. It was Korush, which means that he was that was you could tell from where the snake ate from it. The Graz Girsa. Oh, no, there's the Graz Girsa and the Rebaz's Girsa. Was that he's a boor? Which word is a boor? Sam Oretz. So is Sam Oretz. I don't know why it should make a difference. Oh, interesting. The way he wants to say, I guess what he's saying is that the poor person saw the snake. The snake talk didn't eat from it. The no, the Ani thought the snake ate from it, and therefore warned him. But it's not a riot because he was poor. He didn't know that the halacha is that if a person's sleeping, still the nachash doesn't eat from it. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, name it. All sorts of pshatim, like classic Yerushalmi, all different pshatim. That what's going on here and changing the yourselves. And the one that asks, "Ein yisum shum yichud," right? It's an because yichud. That is questionless about what the yichud issue. So and therefore it should be usher because it seems that there was some hanky panky going on, and could be not Medina because there's no kinui for the stira, but still, what's the issue? Isn't there issue yichud? No, kemel chasharada lo chasharada. Since the Oni was not suspect on allowing the Babais to eat from the food that the Nachash ate from, it's not choshed that he had relations with the wife. You see, kinafu had v'dam b'yadeim. Supposed it's not down the Bible, if I recall correctly. If you're involved in niyuf, you're also involved in shichus damim. In other words, you would like to see the person die. He wants to be with since he wants to be with the person's wife. So therefore, since he tried to avoid the death of the person who was about to eat the husband, it's clear that there was no hanky-panky going on. Okay, it's a case where there's a butcher in Tzipayr who would feed Jews the males and trefus. Obviously, he was a wicked person. Once he drank wine, and the Kavanaki here says harbe v'nishtaker. He puts in those two words some. So Abiyad, even though it's saying it's obvious, drank a lot of wine, got drunk. Erev Yom Kippurim im chashecha. Erev Yom Kippur as night fell. V'olo lagag v'naf of a mace. And so we went up to the roof, and he fell, and he died. V'yoklavim malakim b'dama, and the dogs were licking his blood. As v'shon b'chenina, they came and said, "Mau marmise min kumeon." Should we remove this tabach from in front of the dogs? I guess it was already on Yom Kippur, and the mace is muktzah. So can we remove the mace from in front of the dogs? I said it was sar, but he said to him no, but it says basar, but says trevel l'tochil lachel tashich. So it says you should not eat treif, you should toss it to the dogs. Oh, v'zeh goes l'zaklavim. This person would steal from the dogs. Machos he saw, give it to the Jews. So Amar lepanon, he said, leave him alone there. The medidon einun achlin, they're eating of their own that which is coming to them. So therefore, what happens here clearly is that there is mida, and this is punishment comes to him, and therefore I assume was hara shah because bidin, the fact that he has to be punished is not that's bidei Hashem, not bidei basar v'dam. That or else that they're saying even though Yom Kippur we have ways of dealing with it, like putting a piece of bread on the mace. In this case, we ought to move the mace. In this case, we shouldn't do it. So maybe that's what he's saying. And then he said, leave him there. Maisa b'chosi dechot. There's a maisa. I wonder what he says here back in the Kavanagi in the back of the comments on that point. He brings down from the Orz Ruah. Says, Adam Yadua Shuba Averis, let me buy Shem Mitzvah, he's asking for us, or also he's asking for us. Person not to be about Averis, not just you, it's not a mitzvah to be involved in this Kfura, but it's also to be involved in this Kfura. And he brings his sources are Gemara. He evidently he holds it happens on Erev Yom Kippur, and was still Yom Kippur. And unless he said to leave him there. Rashi doesn't know like about Zerua. He says that which name besides them is in terms of Kriya. And he there's a whole discussion here. And he brings down the Rush. So he brings does bring down the opinion the Rash says a Rush Shah. Together Echad, together Echad Shechshus Rabbi Vifchadu Me'er Shamayim. People should see this. Shishai Mida Keneged Mida. I've learned to basically I know Achar Misa, but normally Mason doesn't punish after death. It's not their business. And that's what we said. He brings out the Achronim say that this brought down the late Tamar has been there because another mice happened there. Yom Kippur. Another mice that have is going to be about Yom Kippur, the next mice. The Chazim Soif in your death, Shimon Mav says, Ma'alei Malad, the Mumar Shemetz Emuchid Min L'Kavro. Mumar dies. The Chorah also have to be Mekayva them. Shekhu Mitzvah Shekvura is brought down for the Hegel Mitzvah Shekvura in the Torah is brought down by a criminal. Like Hikavartik Berenu. So therefore, again, this must have been Maisa Rasha in order to mind Yishmuvi Yiro. Okay. So the Gemara says, a Maisa B'chasid Echad Sheyoshev Shemagalga Gilu Yain. He was Mezalza. It's a Yain Magula. Pamach, it was a Chassid. Chassid known as Rabbi Ben Bava. Okay, it was Chassid certainly in other things. I guess not in this. Pamachas Loka, but Dalekis, once he had an affliction of some sort of fever on account of having consumed some poison, which is in Yain Magula. Some venom. And they saw him that on Yom Kippur he had to sit and darshan with a container of water next to him. Not that he drank it, but he to cool down from the fever. And he was degraded in public on account of his not being makbid on Yain Magula. Chad Banash, Eli grew up the Chomer, a certain individual barrel of wine became uncovered. Also, Baruas Tzulma Rabelish Bishmachet. He went in on error of Yom Kippur to toss it out. Chamsi Chad. So a certain person saw him. Having Nial initiative, said Yom Kippur, I need to drink. Give it to me to drink. I'll drink it. He said it was Magula. Amalei Havi Nialei. Umar Yitzam Aleikum. Give it to me, and the master of the day of the tzom, because Baruch Hu should make for me a nace, and I'll be able to drink it and survive. Didn't work. Last week, Lemishte ad the Yitzchal. He didn't finish drinking it until the poison permeated his entire body, and he evidently died. So we see here that the Moshe, the Kavanoki say, it's going to tell us that if you Isaac of mitzvah. Eating Yom Kippur should rely on nace, the Malkam Sakana, which because it's not necessarily going to work. Okay, the Rabbi Yirmiyah B'Shem Rabbi Chirova said, "Kol arsi malin chatotin." All venoms, I guess, all other insect bites and such like, cause a chatotin. They cause rashes. Veras nachash memes. So the venom of a snake kills. Rabbi Yirmiyah showed Rabbi Zira. He asked Rabbi Zira, Mare Shmuasa, he was the master of Sugyas, so that's the way he addressed him. Mare Shmuasa, he asked about Misnamnin. He asked about the story of, what's the story with Misnyamin? In other words, if you're sleeping, it's a machlekas. What about Misnyamin boy dozing off? Rabbi Zira Yasiv, Achib Ram Shah. So Rabbi Zira was sitting and eating in the evening. Itvi Butzina. He was his candle went out. Vavashari Damich, and he began falling asleep. Yoav Day Al Tunasa. He put his hand on a vessel to cover it up. I guess it was a vessel full of liquid, and he didn't want to cover it up. Tumnasa is like a measuring vessel. And they said, Adlukun Butina, he said to light a candle. Adlukun, the lit it, Ashkun, Sufina, they found a kind of snake, very small snake. Shudaim al which is the size of a hairbreadth. Karechale on the keli, brought them on the keli. Amalei Rishia Lavina Zayarbach. The wicked one, he calls the snake. We're not concerned with about you, then he would have been in the vessel, even though he was falling asleep. We see that falling asleep is not a safeguard. That's why, in fact, he had to put his hand on it. So it's not the same thing as falling asleep. So in general, we have to be concerned with matters which people are concerned with on account of sakana, which include lomitam barnash, pritim gupuma. A person should not put coins in his mouth because they might carry diseases. With avshila tute a person should not eat from foods under bed, because maybe something is raw, or according to Rambam, who's more the rashes, of course, maybe something mazi is damaging fell into it, you didn't see it. Upisa tacha shichya, a piece of bread which is under a person's armpit. It's because that perspiration is problematic. Umetza sakina go pugla, and to stick a knife into a turnip, or sakina go soga into a esrog. Maybe if somebody's not going to realize it's there and eat it, and Chas v'Shalom get hurt as a result. And that actually brings us to Hayin Vav Amud Aleph, so we will stop here for today.